Hello and welcome to another Star Citizen podcast. I am your beautiful, lovely, gorgeous host, BoredGamer, and I'm here with Zin as well. Say hello, Zin.
Hello, Zin.
Perfect. I'm celebrating today, Zin. We're talking about Star Citizen. I'm celebrating. I'm in a good mood.
You are?
Yeah, 200,000 subscribers on the channel. And
good for you.
You were mocking, or your partner was mocking me yesterday, saying, "Oh, what if people just start unsubscribing just before we get to 200,000?" And so, thanks. That's lovely. The first sort of 100,000 we got was relatively quick when we started covering Star Citizen, but it's been a slow slog after that. But 200,000 now. It's a celebration. I'll probably give away an extra ship to someone in the comments of this video. We'll give away something.
Thanks everybody for subscribing.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh, there's a thank you. Well, it's all me, isn't it? Let's face it. It's all me. No. Yes. Genuinely. Thank you. It's appreciated. You effectively and actually pay Zin and I our wage from YouTube ads and sponsorships and using the join button under the videos. Anyway, June's here. June's in. That's a month of the year. It
is. It's kind of middle of the year.
It is, and often not much happens in Star Citizen around this period, but June super busy this time around because we've got things like 3.23.1a, and that's going to have XenoThreat and extra updates, stuff like that. We've got Alien Week, also known as First Contact Day. We've got 3.23.2, which is actually pretty big because it's the cargo updates. And we are starting the not-so-long trudge towards Alpha 4.0 as a summer release. You excited, Zin? You excited? Oh, see? You did an ooh.
Ooh. I'm not really, excited, but very much looking forward to.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. You don't have the hype gene that I have.
No.
We'll talk about 3.23.1a, which is... I don't think it's live yet. It's an open PTU, last time I checked. And there are some issues with this patch, Zin.
Is there? What a surprise.
Yeah. Well, so there's a huge amount of bug fixes and exploit fixes and stuff like that with this patch, and some performance improvements. They've updated and tweaked some ships, improved the Firebird, given it loads more missiles. They've updated the Retaliator's turrets and things like that. There's lots of goodness in that patch. However, XenoThreat and some other times AI and NPCs can just basically go, I'm on strike. I'm on strike today. I'm not going to move. I'm not going to react.
Do they die?
Yes.
That's fine then.
But it's a bit annoying when you're trying to do XenoThreat and fight the Nidris, and the Nidris is just static.
Yeah.
Some people are like, oh, I have a good look at Nidris. But yeah, there's sort of desyncy problems with that and janky problems with that. Although that doesn't happen all the time. There's been some of the XenoThreat stuff seems to be working occasionally on some of the servers. There are clearly bugs and problems Cloud Imperium need to iron out before making that patch live, and then putting XenoThreat live, because they're trying to get XenoThreat out and done so that they can then get 3.23.2 out. And there's a bit of concern that they're holding back 3.23.2 because of XenoThreat effectively and wanting to get that event out first. What do you think about that? Do you be like, well, it doesn't matter if they hold back this big cargo update by a week or two because of XenoThreat? Or do you think they should actually go, it's only XenoThreat, just run it whenever they can and release this cargo patch? What would your preference? What's your thoughts there?
I think do whatever they want to do. I think waiting to make sure XenoThreat is working properly is fine. It's not like they're in any hurry to get 3.23.2 out.
Yeah. I mean, it represents probably the biggest and last update before we have 4.0.
Yeah.
3.23.2. I know there were some issues, those cargo updates, which is why they had to push them to a point patch. And I'm not sure if they are holding it back because of XenoThreat. It was just that's the rumour and the concern from people. I think that patch is going to require a good amount of testing and ironing before it comes out to us anyway. But you could argue, it would be being tested more if they didn't have 3.23.1a to worry about. But we'll have to sort of wait and see. Hopefully they'll get all this stuff sorted later this week, and we'll have XenoThreat running later this week would be my expectation. And Zin and I will be jumping in that and enjoying that. Something else that is being talked about a lot. Well, there's some missile and torpedo problems, but that's kind of sorted now. They basically reduced the speeds of them so that they were sort of crawling along. So it's like you fire a missile at a ship that's sort of mid-range to you, and it takes 30 seconds to hit it. And by that time, it's gone. It's gone, just wandered off.
Plenty of time for countermeasures.
Well, your countermeasures can just be travelling in a different direction to the missile. So, yeah, there were some, especially with torpedoes, there were some issues with that. The problem is that CIG basically said, this is a balance pass on missiles, made them super slow. Everyone went, what the hell? And they went, oh, no. Well, it wasn't a balance pass. It was us testing some stuff to see if it was causing issues on the server. It was like,
so did we say balance pass? We meant testing. Honestly,
it's a typo. But yeah, that was it. So that people got it was confusing. It was confusing messaging, and now they've turned it back. But that was sort of the problem there. And a lot of people at the moment as well, they're talking about the F7A Mark II being incredibly overpowered. So there's a bug with the ship at the moment, Sin, where its numbers are effectively twice as agile than they're supposed to be. So it's just amazingly agile as a ship, and it's relatively tanky. It's got a load of effective health. It's got tons of firepower, especially the F7A Mark II, and loads of people have it at the moment because they've just upgraded with their Overdrive Initiative upgrade, or being able to rent it because of the Overdrive Initiative mission.
Yeah.
So people are like, what the hell? This ship is just super overpowered. Obviously, there's going to be some high-level PvPers that are like, actually, the ship is garbage compared to me being able to take it down easily in my arrow. That's me. Sorry, I had a frog in my throat. But yeah, I mean, obviously, that's not going to be with everyone, but looking at it and looking at the raw stats of it, and it looks to me it's incredibly overpowered. And that seems to be the sentiment. I don't know how CIG are going to balance that. They need to balance it to a degree. I think I've said in a video, they made a rod for their own back with it. But what do you think about this sort of overpowered type ships? So do you think it needs to be addressed like super quickly? Are you like, it's an alpha, it doesn't really matter? Or is the nature of Star Citizen being playable at the moment necessitate balance ASAP with stuff like this?
Is the ship for sale?
Not anymore.
Okay. Because usually it's the whole thing, like in games where a new thing comes out and it's really OP to begin with, because then everybody buys it and then they go, actually, we're going to nerf this because, it's too OP.
Well, I mean, that is what people believe is the Star Citizen conspiracy.
I mean, it's not a Star Citizen conspiracy. It's a gaming development conspiracy for many games.
So, general availability of the ship to purchase an F7C at the moment has ended, a Mark II. However, you can still buy one until June 5th if you're a Chairman's Club member, if you're a concierge.
Okay.
And I expect the ship will be available again in the future, right? To purchase. It's the upgrade that makes it quite so worrisome, because it just goes, and it's upgraded to this F7A, which has got loads of firepower as standard. Although you can upgrade technically the Mark II to be very similar. Sorry, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, like, obviously in the future, being back on sale won't matter because they probably will have nerfed it by then.
Yeah. So expect some nerfs for this. I don't think they're going to nerf it too heavily, though. In this situation, I do think they want it. But there are other ways you can nerf a ship for Star Citizen as an MMO, right? You can make it burn a load of fuel, so it's very expensive to run. Make it have a really high signature, so it's really easy to lock onto it with torpedoes and missiles, which are incredibly slow, which will never hit it. There's lots of stuff you can do. Make it really vulnerable to e-warfare or something like that. We'll have to wait and see to see what CIG do with that. Alien Week. That's coming, I think, technically it's the 17th of June. They might sell some alien ships. There'll be some silly translation stuff to do. They'll certainly have an alien ship sale. Do you think that CIG just like to have a ship sale a month now for let's have Alien Week. Let's have Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. Let's have Pirate Week. Let's have, we need a ship sale week. Do you think that's something that, it's just marketing for CIG? Of course they're going to want to do that. They want to sell ships. It's how they fund the game. Or do you think it's a bit predatory? What do you think, Zin?
No, I mean, if they want to sell, put ships on sale, then go for it. If people want to buy ships, they'll buy ships. Might as well get it during a sale. So
it's interesting, isn't it? Because if they were going, you can't go into this star system unless you buy the new star system as DLC. That would be bad, yeah? They're blocking out content. But if they say you can't do mining without a mining ship that you need to buy, Is that not locking out content, or because you can earn it in game? I suppose, of course, it's not.
Yeah.
Because you can earn it in game. Yeah.
And you can do it by hand.
You can do it by hand.
I mean, obviously, yeah. Like almost everything you can do by hand.
But it is scales, right? Yeah. Because they want small, medium, large scale and do it in vehicles, do it in bigger ships. Okay. No, I think that's fair. I always like to address stuff like that. I am looking forward to Alien Week because we might see the Fat Fury.
Yes.
Which it might be. I mean, that's certainly not a confirmation. Probably will see a new ship of some kind because that is the MO of Star Citizen, to sell some ships to help fund the game. And we didn't have anything alien-y, I don't think, at Fleet Week. 3.23.2's in. So I'm expecting this patch by the end of June. It's the cargo patch. So this contains, or is planning to contain, persistent hangars, new ways of being able to spawn ships in your hangar. So you've got a console in the hangar to be able to spawn ships literally coming out of the floor, go back into the floor. You've got freight elevators. You've got cargo hauling missions, which I think you might enjoy because then you can pretend you're doing Train Simulator.
Yeah.
Or Euro Truck Simulator or whatever. And what else is there? Is there anything else? Item banks, so you can do FPS gear at a sort of terminal at landing zones. This is going to have the huge big change of, it's not just big, it's huge big, of loading and unloading cargo. Manual loading and unloading of cargo is effectively a necessity, and cargo management. So what are you thinking here? Do you think this is a monumental change to Star Citizen? Or is it something like, well, I don't really want to do cargo stuff anyway. I know it's connected to my gameplay, but it won't affect me much. What are you thinking?
I'm pretty sure I've said this before. I think it's going to be a good change.
Yeah.
Because cargo is pretty straightforward, really.
Yeah.
It's more so a case of getting from A to B safely.
And now you need to do your cargo management too.
Yeah.
Well, and that helps improve the economy, right? Because that means, well, there's time associated with that, which means that you actually have to think about how you put the stuff in the back of your spaceship. Eventually, you are going to be able to automatically load and unload, but it's going to be costs and times associated with that as well. Yeah, I really like this. I'm hoping there's going to be a big economy tweak and update here as well. Sort of makes sense that there would be. And I'm sort of interested to see how cargo missions are dealt with. Like, is it going to be just get... Because they've sort of talked about this before to a degree. Is it just going to be, in this first iteration, just bring... I want 40,000 iron. And you can just go there and keep on giving them iron from any source. Or is it going to be, well, actually, you get given cargo and you can go deliver it to this location. You've got to pay a buy-in fee for the contract. Things like that. So, I'm sort of excited for that. I think it's really interesting. I think a lot of people are going to be really enjoying the persistent nature of hangars as well. I say hangars, your home hangar being persistent, and you being able to customize it with your flair, like a Big Benny's machine or couches or silly stuff. And actually, when you go back to that location, bam, your hangar's there. It is spawned like an instance, though. Do you think it's cheating to spawn these things like instances rather than be entirely physicalized? Or do you think, well, that's the only way you could do it?
Yeah. I think that's, yeah.
You're sort of more looking forward to bases anyway, aren't you? Mm-hmm. Rather than, I think me too. It's just, this is a big step towards that, in my opinion. And I suppose the last thing I really want to talk about today, Zin, is that we are now on the road, or at least later in June we will be, for 4.0. So,
yes, though we had a CitizenCon that was the road to 4.0.
Well, so now it's the journey to Pyro. Oh, no, I think we've had that as well. Now it's the end of the long road to Journey Pyro. Yeah, it's.
We can see it in the distance.
We can see it. It's actually close. Well, I mean, I've played in the Pyro playground. I've tested jump points, although the jump points were untextured effectively. It's like, I know this stuff works, and we're going to get with 4.0. We're going to get server meshing. We're going to get Pyro. We're going to get a load of additional mission content and space cows, engineering. There's just a ridiculous amount of stuff in that patch, and it's all essential to making Star Citizen an MMO. Now, there are concerns about a 3.18 situation. What I mean by that is that everything breaking for the live build and the game's unplayable while they sort out server meshing. Do you think that's a genuine concern to you, or do you think they'll get it sorted? We're certainly in the PTU phase and Evocati phase.
I mean, I think they'll probably get it sorted to a degree, but you can never know. with these sorts of things.
That is very reasonable of you. Yes, you can never know. It's alpha for a reason, and it is an essential part of Star Citizen that they need to get in and tested. So if it does break, it breaks. Hopefully it won't. Yes, it's genuinely a giant patch. It is the most important patch that Star Citizen will potentially ever receive other than live, I think, because it sort of proves that it can do all the stuff that it wants to do. Is there anything in particular you're looking forward to in 4.0?
No, just going back to Pyro, I think. Didn't give it much of a thorough going around, so...
Well, yeah, it was relatively buggy, and the locations weren't fully sort of QA'd properly yet. So, like, Zin and I were running around stations, and there's missions on stations that you get a station, you can spawn at a station, and then you can move around the station and do a load of combat in another area of the station and stuff like that. Or get lost in a trash pile, as we did regularly.
Yeah.
And they're pretty big, and there's a lot going on with them. So it's pretty good fun, but they were pretty rough around the edges, but still pretty good fun. I am slightly concerned we might have 3.18 situation, but I think it's a very minor concern, and it would only be a short-term thing. It's Star Citizen this year is genuinely, it's watershed. It is what they said. It's been a long road to get here. It's been significantly longer than CIG or any of the backers would have thought it was going to be. But it is into a genuine state now with 4.0. They're going to be looking at a 1.0 commercial release afterwards as the sort of next major milestone. I mean, there's obviously going to be like 4.1 patches and stuff like that before that. But they are going to go, look, this is now the big thing. We want 1.0 minimum viable product commercial release. And we don't know what that minimum viable product's going to be yet. I think CIG are planning to give us a roadmap update a little bit later on this year, like in a few weeks, or a chairman's letter from the chairman sort of report talking about this is the plan for 1.0 roughly, and this is how we're going to get there. And that's what I'm excited for. Like, I do think we've come into that station now where stuff's starting to move. Squadron 42 is going to get a release date at CitizenCon almost certainly, and they're bringing those features over. Have you noticed Star Citizen in the last 6 months or a year move a lot quicker, Zin? Obviously, you've been covering it a bit of a shorter time than I have. I sort of want to know how it looks to you. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I've said this before. Like, since I've started working for you, it seems like this past 6 months to maybe a year, the patches have contained so much more, and they've been giving us so much more.
Yeah. I think since the dark age of 3.18, although that was a hugely important patch, they've actually been plowing through and giving us quite a lot of stuff. And I'm excited about Star Citizen. I'm not just sort of like my general level of hype, and I like Star Citizen, I like the project, I like it what's and all, which is true. But I'm also now sort of like really excited by 4.0, really excited for Squadron 42, really excited for CitizenCon later this year. And you should be excited for CitizenCon later this year, because Zin and I will be there, which will be, exciting.
Highlight.
A highlight. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about really today. I'm really interested in knowing what everyone else thinks. I'm going to be, I'm not sure how much disruption we're going to have on the channel. It won't be next week, it'll be the week after, when I move. So we'll see what happens. I'll probably still force you to record a podcast on next Monday after.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I love the podcast. Zin's like, I can't wait for a podcast after the weekend. It's my favourite thing to do. And something else that's my favourite thing to do is to check out the links below for things like nordvpn.com/BoredGamer, which will give you better security, privacy, and accessibility on the internet. See how I wove that in there, Zin. Also, there's eye tracking and all that sort of jazz for your high quality Toby eye trackers and all that sort of jazz. Check that out. Natively supported by Star Citizen. Isn't that exciting? Yes, is the answer to that question. You should put any other exciting questions or comments in the comments below, and say good day, Zin.
Good day, Zin.
Yeah, that'll confuse you. Thanks very much for watching. You take care. Have a great June. Every month we have a ship giveaway, and for June we are giving away a Freelancer Miss, which is a fantastic little multi-crew missile boat. We're also bundling this with a Pulse, the little tiny bike with the big laser on it. You'll get lifetime insurance on both of those and a Star Citizen game package. So all you need to play Star Citizen, all you need to do to be in for a chance of winning that is comment on any of my videos made during June. good luck to you. Also, if you want to further support the channel, please consider clicking the join button under my videos. It really does help. There's also Patreon on loads of affiliate links and stuff like that down below in the video description and in the comments, so check those out, and that helps the channel out too. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great June. Thank you for watching to the end, and don't forget to click all the things down below, or at least the things you want to click on.